You're muted.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Hey, good morning, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Appreciate that. Thanks, AJ. So we're going to jump into chapter 9, persistence. But I did want to touch on, you can read the rest of it. It's great stories about the Declaration of Independence and self-determined man and all of these amazing concepts. But I do want to bring up the 6 principles of, it will not be difficult to detect in the story of the Declaration of Independence at least 6 of these principles: desire, decision, faith, persistence, mastermind, and organized planning. Those are the things we've talked about so far, right? Those are the conversations that we've talked about so far. So we're going to jump into chapter 9, persistence. Chapter 9. So persistence, there it is. Sustained effort necessary to induce faith. Right there is the secret. Again, no fewer than 100 times has the secret to success been revealed in these pages. Our job is to be ready to receive them, right? So the question then becomes, are you ready to receive the secret today? Your secret, the secret that's going to move you, drive you, move you into another level. So this is the 8th step towards riches. Persistence is an essential factor for the procedure of transmuting desire into its monetary equivalent. The basis of persistence is the power of will, right? Willpower and desire, when properly combined, make an irresistible pair. Men who accumulate great fortunes are generally known as cold-blooded and sometimes ruthless. Often they are misunderstood. What they have is willpower, which they mix with persistence and place back of their desire to ensure the attainment of their objectives. Let me say that again. They have willpower, which they mix with persistence back of their desire to ensure the attainment of their objectives. Henry Ford had been generally misunderstood to be ruthless and cold-blooded. This misconception grew out of Ford's habit of following through in all the plans and persistence. See, when we call somebody names, it's because we're not doing it. Does that make sense? You get called names. You get called names for you may like going to the gym. They call you a gym rat, right? Or something. You may like going riding and they call you a barn rat, right? You may like fill in the blank. Nobody calls you a scroll rat, do they? Because you like to scroll. No, because the people that you're talking to probably like scrolling as well. So when they find you different, they got to label you different. The majority of people are ready to throw their aims and purposes overboard and give up fast and give up at the first sign of opposition or misfortune. A few carry on despite all the oppositions until they attain their goal. These few are the Fords, the Carnegies, the Rockefellers, and the Edisons. There may be no heroic connotation in the word persistence, yet the quality is to the character of man as what carbon is to steel. And for those of you that don't know what carbon is to steel, it's what makes it tough. It's what makes it wear resistant, as somebody who sold steel for 20 years. The building of a fortune generally involves the application of the entire 13 principles of this philosophy. These principles, now, this book, this chapter, I don't go a single paragraph, I don't think, without underlining something here in the next couple of pages. These principles must be understood. They must be applied with persistence by all who accumulate money. What if you are not complying with that, with following it? Is it causing your failure? Who has your desire for your goal? Does anybody have the desire for your goal stronger than you? Should you be talking to somebody else on a daily basis? Should you be auto-suggesting somebody else because their desire is stronger for your goal than yours? Are you hoping their desire for your goal is going to be enough to get you to move your butt? What? Saying, just asking. Curious. If you are following this book with the intention of applying the knowledge it conveys, your first test as to your persistence will come when you begin to follow the 6 steps described in the 2nd chapter. I wonder if we could find those real quick. So the question then becomes, have you followed the 6 steps that were given to you right in the very beginning, in the 2nd chapter, right? Fix your mind on the exact money, determine exactly what you intend to give, establish a definite date, create the plan to carry it out, write out a clear, concise statement, and read your statement aloud twice daily. See, that was given to you in chapter 2. You still doing it? We're only in chapter 9, the 8th step. You still doing it? Unless you are one of the two out of every 100 or so who already have a definite goal at which you are aiming and a definite plan for its attainment, you may read the instructions and then pass on with your daily routine and never comply with those instructions. If you're the 1 or 2 out of the 100. Sinaloa says, strength in numbers, law and averages says, we're probably not the ones, right? The authors, unless you are those, never have to comply with instructions. The author is checking you up at this point, because lack of persistence is one of the major causes of failure. Moreover, experience with thousands of people has proved that the lack of persistence is a weakness common in the majority of humans. It is a weakness which may be overcome by effort. And this I have double underlined. I wonder what it says. The ease with which lack of persistence may be conquered will depend entirely, italicized words for emphasis, depend entirely upon the intensity of one's desire. Secret. The ease with which lack of persistence may be conquered will depend entirely upon the intensity of one's desire. You got to get to the hospital. Somebody you love has a need to get to the hospital, not an ambulance, hospital drive, hospital drive. Do you stop for coffee on the way? Are you worried about phone calls from bill collectors, or are you worried about the ladies' garden club you were supposed to go to, or the men's shooting range you were supposed to go to? You follow me? When you have a key desire, a key focus, you're not worried about the rest of the thing. The starting point of all achievement is desire. Keep this constantly in mind. What weak desires bring weak results. How's your result? Weak desires bring weak results, just as a small amount of fire makes a small amount of heat. If you find yourself lacking in persistence, this weakness may be remedied by building stronger fire under your desire. Continue to read to the end, then go back to chapter 2 and start immediately carrying out the instructions given in the connection with the 6 steps. The eagerness with which you follow these instructions will indicate clearly how much or how little you really desire to accumulate money. See, when somebody says, well, I have my gratitudes in my head. Oh, cool. No wonder nobody knows what you're doing. If you don't have it in hand, in writing, it doesn't exist. Could you imagine how cool would it be? How cool would it be if you ever got a speeding ticket, and the speeding ticket you got, they said, Okay, you know you got a ticket, right? Yeah, I know I got a ticket. You know you got to pay it, right? Yeah, I know I got to pay it. Okay, just take that memory that you have and make sure you pay it. And the courts call you and say, you haven't paid your ticket. I never got a ticket. Well, don't you have a copy of it? I never got a copy of it. It doesn't exist, does it? See, we will take a speeding ticket and sign for it. We won't even sign for our own dreams. Most of us, most of them. Just saying. If you find that you are indifferent, continue to read through the end. Okay, how much you really desire to accumulate money. If you find that you are indifferent, you may be sure that you have not yet acquired money consciousness. Meaning if you're indifferent on whether I need it, don't need it, I'll write it. I'll try. No, you say to write it, I'll do it. And you do it for a day, you do it for 2 days, you do it for a week, you do it for 2 weeks, and you stop. You may be sure that you have not yet acquired the money consciousness you must possess before you can begin accumulating riches. Fortunes gravitate to men whose minds have been prepared to attract them, just as surely as water gravitates to the ocean. In this book may be found all the stimuli, secrets, necessary to attune any normal mind to the vibrations which will attract the object of one's desires. If you find you are weak and persistent, center your attention upon the instructions contained in the chapter on power. Surround yourself with a mastermind group. And through the cooperative efforts of the members of this group, you can develop persistence. It's called accountability. You will find additional instructions for the development of persistence in the chapters on auto-suggestion and the subconscious. Follow the instructions outlined in these chapters until your habit nature hands over to your subconscious mind a clear picture of the object you desire. The reason that you're struggling, the reason that you're stuck, the reason that you keep repeating it is you have yet to create the exact image of the thing you want. It's that simple. It's that simple. You have not created the vibration, the mental visual vibration of the thing that you could get so excited about you won't sleep. Oh, well, I couldn't sleep well last night, Sean. That's because you were thinking about bills. You got a great visual of your bills. You got a great visual of your problems. Your subconscious mind works continuously while you are awake and while you're sleeping. Spasmodic or occasional efforts to apply the rules will be of no value to you. Zero, no value. Imagine you're, I don't know, you're cooking something at 350 degrees in the oven. And it says to cook it for an hour. Let's say you're making a prime rib and you're going to put it in the oven, the Autosham, and the Autosham is 135 degrees, 140 degrees, and it's got to be in there because you want it to slow cook. It cooks overnight. It's got to cook for 13 hours. Slow roasted, right? Slow roasted, 13 hours. And every hour you take it out. And you forget to put it back in. Oh, I forgot to put it back in. So it's 6 o'clock today, and tomorrow at 7 a.m., you're going to start serving it. Right? That's the date you put on. On or before 7 a.m., we're going to have the best slow roasted prime rib on the planet. You take it out at 7 o'clock last night, and you forget to put it back in. You put it back in at 8. Oh, man. Oh, okay. Okay, 7 o'clock. Maybe what I'll do is I'll turn the heat up. Nope, can't touch the heat. An idea takes a certain amount of energy, certain amount of time. You don't want to make it tough. And so you put it in at 8, you put it in, and it stays in at 8, 9, and 10. 10 o'clock, you take it out again to check it. Then you get on a phone with somebody calls you, or you get and you forget to put it back in at 11. What's going to happen at 7 o'clock tomorrow when it's supposed to be done. When you said it would be done, people are going to be lining up. They're going to be coming to you. How many times have you told people you're going to arrive at a date? This is why you don't tell anybody the date you're going to arrive at. You tell it for yourself. Challenge is we have such little success in arriving at any goal date that we set. We don't even set goal dates. We don't even believe them. Why? Because we don't continue to talk about them. We keep putting them off. We go, well, yeah, well, I got sick, or my toenail fell off, or I got, oh my gosh, the price of eggs. Have you seen the price of eggs? And you come up with any excuse will do. Spasmodic, I love that. Spasmodic or occasional effort to apply the rules will be of no value to you. To get the results, you must apply all the rules until their application becomes a fixed habit with you. In no other way can you develop the necessary money consciousness. Dang, Gina. Poverty is attracted to the one whose mind is favorable to it. Slap, slap, slap. As money is attracted to him whose mind has been deliberately prepared to attract it, and through the same laws. Poverty is attracted to the one whose mind is favorable to it, as money is attracted to whose mind has been deliberately prepared to attract it, and through the same laws. The same laws, whether you attract poverty or success, it's the same laws. It's what you think about and think about, you bring about. Poverty consciousness will voluntarily seize the mind which will not occupy, which is not occupied with money consciousness. It's like the seat on the bus. If any of you have ever had pets, any of you ever have pets, any of you ever have dogs that jump up on the couch? We have 3 main seats in our sitting area, 2 on the couch, 1 on the chair. We have 5 dogs. And if they all happen to be in, you can damn well bet, unless you put the fear of God in them, don't you take my chair. As soon as you get up, somebody's taking your chair. So if you don't have chair consciousness, you will have chair poverty when you come back. And some of them know that they can kind of rule the roost. You can't get them out of the chair. You kind of have to physically encourage them. Y'all know what I'm talking about? So you have more chair consciousness than you have money consciousness. Just saying, just a thought, just a visual for you. Poverty consciousness develops out of conscious application of habits favorable to it. This is part that's like poking you in the eye. A poverty consciousness develops without consciousness application of habits favorable to it. The money consciousness must be created in order unless one is born with such consciousness. Catch the full significance of the statements in the preceding paragraph, and you will understand the importance and the persistence of the accumulation of a fortune. Without persistence, you will be defeated even before you start. With persistence, you will win. If you have ever experienced a nightmare, you will realize the value of persistence. You are laying in bed, half awake, and feeling that you are about to smother. You are unable to turn over or to move a muscle. You realize that you must begin to regain control over your muscles. Through persistent effort of willpower, you finally manage to move your fingers on one hand. By continuing to move your fingers, you extend your control to the muscles of one arm until you can lift, and then you gain control of the other arm in the same manner. You finally gain control over the muscles in one leg and extend it to the other. Then, with one supreme effort of will, you regain complete control over your muscular system and snap out of your nightmare. The trick has been turned step by step. Underlined. You may find it necessary to snap out of your mental inertia through a similar procedure, moving slowly at first and then increasing your speed until you gain complete control over your will, aka called auto-suggestion, self-talk. Be persistent, no matter how slowly you may start at first. Well, I said it yesterday. I didn't do it today. Do it until you don't have to do it. It won't be perfect. It's the start, though. You can't create the pot unless the clay is on the table. This is going to take practice. The challenge is we're comparing somebody else's success to your start, somebody's chapter 10 to your chapter 1. And that causes you to go, oh, see, I'm not as good as them. And so money conscious goes, no, you're not. That's the truth. You're not. You're not as good as them. Oh, I'll never be as good as them. Probably won't. But you'll be as good as you. Wouldn't that be okay? Wouldn't it be better to have a response that say, oh, well, I'll be as good as me? Okay, we're going to end there. Questions, comments, thought on persistencia. We're going to start right there again. Questions, comments, thoughts, takeaways. Going once. Going twice. I had an incredible weekend masterminding. I'm actually going to do a training on it. That's how powerful it was. Hey, AJ, good morning.
Hey, I think we're yet to pick your brain on the contents of what you learned during the weekend, which is great. How are you? How's it going, Bob?
Outstanding. So what happens is usually when I come back from these, I turn into just kind of a jerk. And it's not a jerk. It's, how's that working for you? Great. Sucks to be you. When do you want to change? Let me know. Because here's what I will tell you. Free doesn't get you free. Free does not get you free. This is free. Many of you, this is free. Free doesn't get you free. Why? Because there's no cost to it. You have got to put a cost to this. You've got to put a value to this. To have me every morning is significant value. None of you have a cost to it. You have your, oh, I got to get up. Oh, that's right. I really want to get on there. If you knew what you were getting through the dialogues and conversations and the masterminding with my brain and my experience, you'd be paying thousands of dollars a month. The reason you don't pay thousands of dollars a month is because you're not producing $1,000 of results, because you're not being held accountable. So if you start unfreeing yourself, you can become free. So that's when after 10 years, dude, 10 years we've been doing this, 10 years the mastermind. I didn't realize it. He said, yeah, 2015, you were the first one I asked. I said, I knew you. I was the first one you asked. Would you be part of my mastermind if I was going to do one? See, he was timid. He was afraid. He was scared. He never did a mastermind. He was talking with John Assaraf and Mark Victor Hansen and Brian Tracy and all of these people that he was their agent. I'm like, dude, you need to do a mastermind. He goes, I don't know how to do a mastermind. I'm not a people person. So I happened to be in an event that we were working together on a project with a company that brought us together. And he said, hey, if I ever did a mastermind, would you join us? In a heartbeat. He said, I didn't tell you how much. I said, doesn't matter. Okay. And then there were a few of us that were 12. There were 12 of us that were the original founders 10 years ago. I keep thinking it's 6. I'm like, it can't be 9 years. 9 years would be way too long. It's anyway. So yeah. So that hit me. 10 years of being mentored by Jim Rohn's business partner. Like, y'all are got rocks for brains. Anyways, but that's what I said internally. I would never say that out loud. I would never want you to hear that.
Apart from now, yeah. Well, for everybody, I gotta blow your horn a little bit because so what happened was, I think this was Friday night, the first day. Sean kind of did a make-a-wish with me because he was so one of the guests was a brother of a NFL superstar that I don't cry. I'm not crying. I just have water in my eyes. It's just moisture. So the older brother of one of the NFL superstars that I used to look up to when I was just starting out in football back in high school. And by the way, I took up number 87 because of that guy. And then Sean introduced me to his brother, who also played football, but is rather more known for business ventures that he was on. And the guy signed an autograph for me and so on. So that was just
Video for you? Did a
oh
video
yeah,
for you?
did the video for me, so said hello to me. the kind of one of those things. What do you call them? Cameos.
Yep.
The cameo for me and signed an autograph for me. So that was huge. And I journaled about it. I told everybody about it. Andrew was the first person I called. I'm like, Gronk's brother just said hello to me. He was like, "Whoa!" And then he said, "Well, how did that happen?" And I said, "Sean, three dots." He was like, "Oh yeah, of course." The So that was huge for me. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Again, I gotta blow your horn a little bit. Brag to everybody. Sent my dad a picture. Sent Andrew the picture. It's crazy. It's crazy stuff. Anyhow, on to the questionnaire. I
Now,
have a
so hold on to your question. I just want to explain the
yes.
Paul Harvey rest of the story. Many of you know I am not a sports fanatic. You say we're going to a football game. I'm like, cool. We'll have fun. We'll have a story. We've got this is a new story. This is a new experience. This is novelty. I've seen Chris Gronkowski. We've talked. I've talked to him about being a dad. I've given him suggestions on being a dad, right? He may be a superstar and have this thing called Ice Shaker. He's a new dad. I've been 22 years a dad. I got more experience than he does, and I'm not afraid to share it, but we think we can't talk to somebody about our experience because they're more successful. No, he's not. As a dad, so I gave him some ideas, suggestions as a dad. He goes, oh, I like that. He goes, that is cool. Thank you for sharing that. I didn't say, hey, listen, let me tell you how to go create a better ice shaker, a better thermal insulated cup. That'd be stupid. So my point is that when I knew about football and I knew AJ was football, right? This is your connections. This is your mastermind. I asked him, I don't know if he knows the Gronks, right? The brothers, the four brothers. I said, do you know the Gronkowskis? He goes, yeah, that's why I have 87. I go, oh. And I sent him a picture. I go, his brother's talking right now.
That was out of this world experience for me
And so then I get up
because
right
yeah,
after he's done. Most people wouldn't do this. And I say most people they wouldn't do this for their friends. But I know that AJ, I love AJ, and AJ loves football because then he sends me a picture of him and it says his last name, and there's 87, which is Chris's brother, Rob Gronkowski. So I go, hey, listen, Chris, you want to have some fun? He was like, yeah. I said, I've got a stud who's in Serbia who played American football, but he based it on your brother because he didn't know about you. He didn't know how cool you are. So he had to settle for your brother. And Chris is laughing. I know how to move Chris. I said, I want you to send a hello message to him. It would flip his lid unbelievably. So I'm doing the video live while I'm talking to him. And he goes, hey, AJ, how are you? Hey, listen, I taught Rob everything. So you should owe me. You owe me for the 87. Good to talk. And you talk to him. I know Chris. I didn't know what that would do for AJ. The whole point of this is that when you go to build, when you go to want to create that your desire for success, my goal is to help what? Help people have more of what they want and less of what they don't. I, he likes football. I could care less about football, but you can see the impact it made for AJ. I still don't, I can't say I can't comprehend it because I've had it in other experiences. But if somebody had sent me a message saying, hey, Sean, this is Chris Gronkowski. I hope you have a great day. I taught my brother. I'm like, the hell do I care? But to see the excitement that AJ had, and that feeds back into us. So my point of the story is, and then I'll let AJ get onto his, is you never know what's valuable to those people in your team, in your organization, in your community. That's like picking up socks for you. It didn't trigger me one way or the other that Chris was talking. I like his business conversation. I like the way he talks about business, but he talks about football and the playoffs and I love how his mother would drive all four of them. I would love how his dad would drive all. I love those things, but so I leave it back to you now again, AJ.
man, what a family. I mean, this guy is a millionaire in business. Rob is an NFL superstar. got a teams, star, got a couple of rings in the Major League Baseball. I mean, just what a family, just a
Yeah.
crazy freaking family. So yeah, that was a huge moment for me. So thank you, thank you, thank you.
Yeah.
I just wanted to say that out there, just put that out there. That uh, Sean knows people. Hypothetical question from a hypothetical man that journal. What would you say if I said to you hypothetically that I feel, or this guy feels, as if as you go through life, as you go to your day-to-day things, I feel as if I'm just right there. I'm right there. And I just have this constant feeling of I just need that one little teeny tiniest, smallest, bittiest eureka moment to just get out there and get desire
Mhm.
and manifest it into reality. And it's a feeling I'm having for a long time now.
Mhm.
And sometimes it goes a little bit under, sometimes it goes over the top, especially, for example, in my last trip to the States. Every time I go to Dubai, it just I mean, shoots over the top. What would you say to that? Is that a lack? Is that potential? Is that desire? What is that?
It's a great excuse.
All
You
right.
asked you asked me to identify it. You didn't ask me anything
Yes.
else. I don't know what else you want to know about it. You said, "What is that?" It's a great excuse. You have to come up with a better question. See, you want better answers, come up with a better question. If this person is stuck there, what's a better question than what is it?
Well,
You go
strategy
to the
question would be how to get out of it.
okay, so why would you want to get out of it? How's a crappy question? For this guy, whoever we're
But
talking to.
yes, for this hypothetical
Yeah.
person,
Yeah.
let's call him Alexander.
Yeah.
Okay, so don't start with how.
Well, you got to, but if that's the process, right? So it's spring training in football. What do you got to do that you don't want to do? You got to start out with sprints. You got to start out with
Oh
suicides.
yeah, man, you got to do conditioning.
Right. So you're conditioned now to ask how. Awesome. So what's the next level of conditioning?
That's going to be the business class conversation.
Sure. So now instead of how, imagine again, be the reporter. Imagine you're witnessing Alexander talking to Rob Gronkowski and go, "Hey, listen, I want to go get a ring. I know I'm so close. I know I'm so close. What's that called?" What would he say? And keep it PG.
You would say, get your stocky together, man.
Yeah, stop playing like a girl,
Yeah.
right? And then you'd be like, "I'm not. I'm working hard. You asked me what to do. Stop playing like a girl. Stop hitting like a girl." And what does that do inside of you? Doesn't that
Oh,
fire you up?
oh yeah. Unleashes.
That so that's the thing is you haven't unleashed your desire yet. Why are you holding back on your desire? Who are you afraid you're going to hurt? This is why I asked the question, who's going to be jealous of your success? That's the only reason that you're stuck is you haven't come up with a new story yet of what you're going to be able to do to them. You want me to push your button real quick?
Yes, sir.
How many thousands of kids cried last night because you're playing like a girl, hitting like a girl in business? So
Not
you really don't care about the kids.
well,
You're comfortable. Maybe they got to work hard like me. No, okay, great. So you're lying about what your desire is because you got to do for them what they can't do for themselves. But you're going to sit there and go, well, I've worked it. They should be able to sit here when they're 24 sitting at a restaurant, get their ass out of gear. Well, they should work harder. Okay, stop hitting like a girl. Be the example. They can't find you for you to be the example of them. You're sitting at a restaurant that they would love to go to. That you know how many kids in Serbia, in your town, will never be able to afford that restaurant because their parents will never take them there.
lot.
So, you want to ask the question again now, or do you have an answer?
Well, it's kind of what it what I did yesterday, and this happens to me often
Wow. So,
this
why
year
would we want to repeat it?
because it's good.
Okay, good.
It's actually a good thing.
Oh,
I would,
did you see his tone change? Did you see his physiology change? His intensity changed. His on the front line as the tackle, the right guard, going, "You ain't getting past me." Did you see him lean forward? I'm
it's
serious. Did
good.
you all notice that? He lurched forward because it's good. That's what I'm talking about. That's the triggers we need to have because it's good. And his eyes got really big. There was no confusion. Well, I think it's good. No, I love it. I love it.
It's good, man. Because what happened is, I'll keep it short.
You see
So
his
what
leg
happens
bouncing?
is,
You can't see his leg bouncing, but do y'all know that his
I
leg is just bouncing?
no, it didn't. I don't know what would say that. Anyhow, yeah, good luck drinking that. Hope it's Amtrak's. I'm kidding. So what happened was, and what happens is I would start my journal entry. I would describe feeling, issue, challenge, whatever have you. And as I'm writing it out, I would be like, oh, shiitake, this is it. Then I would write out the solution and write out the awareness that just got downloaded as I was describing the issue, let's say.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what happened last night. So I guess I kind of answered my question even before asking you, because what I said was I was comparing me right now with me at 18, 19, 20. And I said, okay, so the major thing about me at that time was that I lacked detail,
Mm-hmm.
but I had such a strong desire.
Yep. Ignorance on fire is what we would call it.
Yes, I was absolutely ignorant and I was absolutely on fire.
Sure.
Now, I've grown so much, and this is where it's kind of challenging for me. I think I've grown so much that I understand now what happens behind the scenes in terms of how you develop the vision, etc. And I guess the question I was asking myself last night was because I know these things now, because I know that it's just such a huge vision, so so big, and it's so exciting. It's crazy, just over the top. I, I wrote it down. I said I've grown so much and can see the bigger picture now, including all the details in every one of my pillars, that it seems difficult, scary, yeah, difficult and scary to grasp all of it at once. It's like the vision is too big, yet I have this constant feeling of as if I am just on the brink of it, just on the verge of it. That's why I journaled
So
last
you
night.
want a coach answer, a mentor answer, or your mentor's answer?
I'll
Coach
opt out
answer
for
is
the
that's
latter.
awesome. Keep going. A mentor's answer is double down. Did you read your book? Did you do this? My answer to you is you got to go get ignorant again.
Mm,
See, you said I know. And so the worst thing, the arsenic and the cyanide and the anthrax words you can say that will kill a dream faster is I know that.
I know that now.
And what did you say? I know how big the dream is. You haven't got a freaking clue how big the dream is. Did you know that
Yeah.
who took the picture of you with the 87 you sent me? Who took that?
I think it was I think it was Pops.
Okay, so here's the thing. When you tell your dad about it, say, I got to thank you for being in my life while I was playing football because you gave me an experience unlike I would have ever imagined. How many years later? Had he not taken
That
that picture
was 7 years ago.
7 years ago, your dad gave you the best gift he could have ever given you. I'd say
Yeah.
that. And he'll go, what are you talking about? You took a picture of me back and it was me with full pads on the sidelines, 87. You know who I got to send that to? Gronk's brother. And when I had him do the signature that I took a picture for you, I put 87 on there. He goes, "Are we going with 87?" I go, "No." I said, that's Rob's number, who you are signing this to, AJ. I said, "Drop your number." I didn't know what his number was. He goes, "We'll put a little 44 in there."
Yeah, 44. Yep.
I go, I see, but pay attention to this. This is a multi-million-dollar successful business entrepreneur, great dad, unbelievable success, has Mark Cuban as a partner, never really talks to him, talks to his assistants. But when I put 87 on there, he was like, "I'm not signing that. That's his number. That's not my number." It was fascinating to see how childish, how competitive.
Oh yeah.
He said, "We'll throw a little 44 in there." He had to have his number. I'm like, oh my gosh, I could mentor this guy at a whole new level. When's the last time he wore the 44 jersey? Been a while. When's the last time Rob wore 87? Is Rob still play?
Rob doesn't play. He played for the Bucks, let's say 2-3 years ago.
Okay.
They
So
retired.
in his mind, his words, "Oh, we still doing the 87? We're doing the 87? No, we're not doing the 87. I just put a number down there." I don't know what the hell that meant, but boy, it triggered some emotions. So I thought that was cool. So yeah,
Can
thank
you
your dad
imagine the
today
household?
for that gift.
Oh, well.
Right? Literally, that's the gift that keeps on giving. So my point is, to your question, is you got to go get ignorant. You got to go get uncertain. See, you're in pain because of certainty. I know the dream. I know I can see it. It's huge. You ain't got a clue. But because we go from ignorant to knowledge, we're like, "Oh, I got to get more knowledge." No, you got to get more ignorance. You got to go do something that you were ignorant about. And between you and me, for both of us, becoming ignorant isn't hard for us.
Yeah. That makes two of us. That's true.
Right. So now the question is, well, how do I do that? The question then becomes, why would you want to become ignorant about something you already have a grasp of? You've got to dream bigger. You've got to step into the more of the unknown. You're in the known and you're asking the universe, "Well, bring me this known." And the universe is like, "That's not even like a tenth. It's a flea on the tip of an iceberg of what your potential is." And so now the universe has got to start to slow things down to try to calm down what it had in store for you, that it was going to deliver to you into the unknown, because now you have this known that is so limiting that the universe is like, "I don't even want to give it to you." How many of us, we were going to give them a pen. We were going to give them a pen. And somebody gave them a journal and a pen and a writing table. And we're like, "Well, mine's not good enough now." Right? You get that? So I'm going to give you this pen, and they give them, say it's a Sharpie marker, right? Because they do events and they stand in front of the room and they draw on the whiteboard, on the paper, the easel. So I'm about ready to give them my pen. The universe, here's my pen. And then the universe comes along and says, "Oh, here's your whiteboard, here's your easel, here's an unlimited supply of flip papers. Here's a black pen, a red pen, a green pen." And you're like, "Oh, mine's not even." I'm embarrassed to give mine now. Right? The universe has the most, and then we get embarrassed by, well, if I could have gotten a pen, I'd have been happy. But now I got all this and I can see all this, so this doesn't even exist anymore. That's what the universe wants. The universe wants to give you everything you want to ask for, but you're going, "Oh, I would love a pen." It's like, I don't want to give you a pen now. I'm embarrassed. I had this whole thing planned for you of uncertainty. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir. Talking about pens, this is the pen I got at the ranch in April. So this is 7 months ago. No, what? No, 6 months ago. Still works. That's good.
Love
Yes,
it.
I understand.
Okay,
Thank
cool.
you, thank you.
You're welcome. Hey, Mr. Brad Chambers, Mr. Award winner for super stud standing out and having conversations.
Hey, good morning.
Hey, good morning, brother.
So last week, Sean Murphy said, if there's not more interaction than this, we're going to do something different. So over the whole weekend, I knew that you were at this mastermind, and I'm thinking to myself, okay, I'm journaling, I'm sending messages of gratitude, I'm meditating, I'm staying in state of awareness. But like you were talking about this morning, I'm ready to get more ignorant to go to that next level.
Yep.
So something interesting just happened.
Shocking.
I was planning this to. I was like, I'm going to talk on Monday. I set my clock back an hour earlier, because you get the excuse, I don't have time. I've got a really busy schedule, but there's always earlier, right?
Yep.
So I set my clock earlier. Got up, went to the gym, come back, get ready, so I can say something. I mean, literally, split second I go to hit the mic, my wife hits the blender, like, oh my
Yes, I love it.
God.
Yes.
Yes. So she just heard, she said yes. So I have a question for you.
Sure.
What was your most profound takeaway from your mastermind this weekend that you are willing to share with us?
Did Mason bring in my book? Oh, he did. Mason, is this my book? No, yes. Is this it? Bonus idea. Feeding the fly. Yes. Okay, cool. So yeah, we do this takeaway. No, it's not. I just happen to write that in multiple places. So uh one of the biggest takeaways, and I'm gonna see if I can remember it. So when Kyle would ask at the end of every day, so what's your biggest takeaway? And the first day I said, he goes, who said that? I go, well, you said that. He goes, I never said that. I go, well, that's what I got. He goes, and then he turned to everybody in the 30 people there. He said, Sean never takes notes. And everybody kind of laughed, thinking, I never take the notes that everybody else is taking. He said, no, let me explain. He takes the questions that makes the notes work. Mm-hmm. He said, and that's a brilliant question. But Kyle said, he said, I don't talk in questions. I go, no, but you gave me an answer that made this question so valuable that it could be universal for everybody. So I don't take notes. So my biggest takeaway was, here's the biggest takeaway. What's the plan you need to create to get you out of the bad plan you're in? What's the plan you need to create to get you out of the bad plan you're already in?
Bonus.
Yeah, right? Isn't that kick in the cheeks and this little smack in the face and even an ear pull by your mom? Yeah. And so Kyle said, who said that? And I do my look. I said, I don't know. Might have been Adam. I don't know. But that's my takeaway. So I said to Kyle, Kyle, I get what you're asking, but I also know what this means. He says, he kind of looks at me, tilts his head. He says, yeah, tell me. I said, we're in a mastermind, aren't we? And aren't we supposed to listen to that third voice that didn't exist until you and I showed up together and all the other 31 souls showed up here together? I said, so the mastermind message that I got that I could never have gotten anyplace else. This would not have existed anyplace else. This will never exist again. I will never get the same thought again. I'll get a version of it. I said, but what's the plan you're in? What's the plan you need to get you out of the bad plan you're in? He's like, I love it. And everybody else is like, well, I got to write that down. I said, none of you will ever see any of my notes in your notes. You may take down the same phrase somebody said. You will never see any of my notes in your notes because I don't take notes. I take inspirational thought so that when I go home on Monday or Tuesday and I open my book, I have a question that will inspire me at whatever level I'm at when I read the question. You want better answers? Ask better questions. That question will last me for the rest of my life. So that's one of my biggest ones. I have 15 pages of notes. Everybody's like, how do you get 15 pages of notes? How do you not?
I love that. And that's so I have a journal here
Where? How do you have that?
and it's full of questions. You open it up, it says, how many of your sources have you been misled by?
How did you get? That's my UPW book, or is that your UPW book? Say something because it's got me stuck on the screen. Say something. Hold that up again.
UPW.
Huh.
You were feeling very generous that day. And you say, here, let me give you a journal.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I have this is worth a lot to me. It has a lot of questions in it.
You know, so here's the thing. I didn't know I didn't have it, but yeah, that's more than the deed to the property here.
Hey, it's ours, my friend.
I know,
What's mine
but
is
that
yours.
isn't that cool?
It is absolutely cool. And that's what the comment you made really, it really was a wake up call for me when you said that, because I began to think, how would that affect me? Yeah, I'm not engaging as much as I want to and will and have, but it's still, man, it's so valuable to me because I listen to it in the morning, I take it away, and throughout my days, I constantly think of something you said or someone on here that has something that has been brought up.
Mostly me. Mostly me. I'll take
Mostly
that.
you. I'll give it to you. Yeah, so man, you're amazing, Sean. I'm grateful to be on this journey with you. And I don't really know what else to ask.
Well,
I've got
but
that.
see, the question you just asked me, you could have been driving in your car and never asked it, or Heidi could have turned on another blender or a vacuum cleaner or done something, right? Or the
Yeah.
dog had to go pee and you're like, I got to go out, because you made it intentional. And because you said, well, I can get up earlier,
Mhm.
there needs to be a return on the getting up earlier. And the return is you got to ask me the question. That can now be your question forever and forever. You get to use that question saying, my mentor, I asked my question, my mentor a question, and he flicked me between the eyes. I'm about to hit you between the shoulders. What plan are you currently in? What plan do you need to get out of the bad plan you're in? Every one of you could use that. Now, the universe will know if you give credit. Most people do it 3 times, right? It's called R&D, rip off and duplicate. I would encourage you, don't take away the credit. Because then what happens is, here's what people don't realize when they don't give credit. They start to use these as theirs. How many of you have ever seen somebody use a phrase or saying that was not theirs? Be it from the Bible or from another mentor or from a book you read. What happens is the energy, the frequency, when they say that is theirs, everyone kind of knows that came. It's a great thing, but it's not theirs. And it comes with like a leftover fart smell. And nobody wants to be around them for the next question because they know they're lying. So I just offer you that because in the beginning, 30 years ago, I used to take some of these things and I go, oh, that's a good one. I'll tweak a word. The frequency of it is so powerful that you could change the words, but the frequency that it comes out through you is not yours. I love that once I learned that I get to use, I was with Kyle, Adam Bintiff's next to me, Bobby Lonergan, who knows he asked me if I knew who Buster was from 4 6s in the movie Yellowstone. He goes, yeah, Buster was a friend. My point is, I get to be the one that is the resource of great sayings versus the one that's got to always come up with the great sayings. Because at some point, somebody's going to go, oh, give me another message. I love when I do my masterminds at Kyle's, everybody's like, you just quoted like 35 people. Like, and how do you do that? Very well. Why do you ask?
Mhm.
But why did you use it in this training? This is supposed to be a mastermind about you. I said, you came to me for a resource. You came to me and sat down here because you wanted a clear signal in 2026. You wanted to be able to dial your frequency in so tight, so clean that there was no static. I take the static out of your dreams. I just happen to have 35 people that come to mind that made sense to you. So anyways, so thank you for asking that question. It forced me to remember it because I remember reading it and just hearing everybody's pens drop on the table. What plan are you currently in? What plan do you need to get you out of the current bad plan you're in? And how can you see the new plan if you're in the bad plan thinking, well, I got to plan harder. I got to plan faster. I can tell you're going to get more of the same.
So what would be a good sign to look for that you're in a bad plan? Because none of us really plan to be in a bad plan, right?
No, but once we call it a bad plan, do you hear how the frequency and even asking the question as you listen to it, he's sharp enough to know, he's been mentored enough and beaten up enough on his own life to know, well, this isn't a bad, I'm not in a bad place. Are you in a place that's equal to where you want to go? No, then you've got to be drill structure about it. So I go to do a bench press. How long do you think you would giggle watching me in my form do something that's supposed to build my lats and I'm doing a pull down? You're like, oh my God, I never knew you could be so out of form, right? You'd be laughing because you love me. You'd go, oh, right. You see the laugh? He's even going, I don't even want to imagine how great your form is, of how much opportunity in your form you have, right? But I'm thinking I'm doing lat pulls. I'm doing, I feel it. Ow, it hurts. I woke up the next morning, I'm sore. You did all the wrong muscles are sore. All your wrong plans are keeping you sore from the plan you need to get to. That's why we have to ask the question, so what's the bigger plan? We have to step into the unknown. We have to become uncertain. When you went to go bench your highest number, and I think you may have came off of that a little bit because it was starting to hurt your body a little bit.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But you did. You got there and you're like, I got the t-shirt.
Mm-hmm.
Once you got the t-shirt, how many times did you say, well, I need more of that same t-shirt?
Yeah, I'm done.
So right now you're in the same t-shirt plan. It may have different colors. If you go out today, right, you one of your part of your plan is getting trophies at Toastmasters. Well, that's not a plan. Oh, it is, because you're still getting trophies at Toastmasters. Oh, shit. So what's bigger than Toastmasters? Going to speak.
To speak, yes. Yeah, yes.
Yeah, but you are getting so good, they got to award you. Now, if I said you need to go create a $15,000 an hour speech, besides sucking the chair into places unknown, right? What would be your thing? What would I talk about? But see, you know what to talk about at Toastmasters. They give you a script, they do this, and you do it well. You do it well. You deserve the trophies. I'm not belittling that. I'm saying next level. How do you know you're in a bad plan? Because you're still getting trophies. Now you go get a bigger trophy. Imagine if it's that trophy. Now imagine if the trophy's got a comma in it. I want you to take that trophy to Starbucks and go, what can I get for this?
All right.
It's good. I've got plaques. You've seen I got plaques. I get awards all the time. Some of them wind up in the trash because they're not the award I went for. It's not. I didn't ask for the award. They gave it to me because that's the minimal they could do to try to pay me, compensate me.
I was actually given the award, not receiving it.
Oh, you were giving it.
I was Toastmaster.
Oh, okay. Awesome. So now you don't even get trophies.
I do get trophies depending on what week it is.
Now, would you say from day one to day, however many you've been in Toastmasters, are you a little more comfortable than you were day one when you showed up?
100%. I've been doing it for about 9 months now.
Excellent. You got to get uncomfortable.
I know. Oh, well, yeah, I still
No,
get
I know.
uncomfortable. I still get uncomfortable. It's
Yeah, but you
something
got to get
about
more uncomfortable.
when you're sitting in, well, you know this.
Yeah.
You know this way better than I do. Actually, I don't know. I think you've almost forgot you're so comfortable on your stages, regardless of the number of people. Right. But yeah, I don't really have anywhere I'm going with that. I do get nervous.
So you've gotten so good that you now get to be the one who awards it. Your skills are significant enough to be the one that when they receive their award, it means something. The head of the head of my group of Toastmasters gave me this award. I need to introduce you to Pavish. He's in an island in the middle of the ocean that I'll figure it out. But he has become and his part of the world, I don't know really, but he's like a master Toastmaster. So I would love to introduce the two of you just as Toastmasters, for you to have some conversation, to bring back to your group there in Oklahoma going, I just talked to the guy who's gotten the biggest award, who's a friend of mine. Right.
That would be interesting.
Yeah. Oh, so yeah, Raven Pavish, Raven, and he's this just amazing super soul, but he's got high awards in Toastmasters. If I were to walk into Toastmasters today, it'd be day one. And if they ever ask me to speak, they like, what are you doing here? I get it. My point is that he's a buddy of mine. I think we've been in books together. I think anyway. So yeah, I'll make that happen. I'll make that introduction happen.
So the reason I wanted to join Toastmasters was, well, one, I'd heard you talk about it a lot, and I wanted to be able to share my story and have an impact. And so stayed in touch with the doctor who released me from the hospital over 10 years ago. And I may have told you this, but he asked me to speak at a doctor's symposium next year and tell my story. So
Okay.
that's what I've been working on, giving my speech at the Toastmasters. And Sean, every time I give that speech, of course, I've tried to mix it up because I don't want to wear it out with one speech. I'm, working on the diversity in speaking, but there's not a dry eye in the room anytime I give it. And to see that, to see the level of value that I can add and bring, it's very humbling and very exciting at the same time.
So here's the thing, and this is for anybody who wants to create what they call a keynote speech. Jim Rohn said the same thing every time. If you ever listen to Tony Robbins, he could say, I could tell you how many minutes he's into his presentation based upon when I see him drop the chalk. If I walk in and he drops the chalk, I go, oh, he's got 13 minutes left. So the idea that we want to switch it up, great. We want to fine tune it. Once you fine tune it and it works, Jim Rohn never changed a word. Kyle Wilson could give Jim Rohn's presentation, but he could never present like Jim Rohn. The Bible hasn't changed in a couple of thousand years. Every message is the same, depending upon who publishes it. So you may localize it. And that's the story at the beginning, the break in the middle, and at the end, but the presentation is the same. That's my suggestion, right? So just absolutely get it to where every pause and space and comma and inflection and movement, when you get that to be, because you want the people in the audience elbowing him who's listened to you 10 times going, oh, here comes a good part. Watch. Right? If you have a favorite song, could you imagine if the favorite song In the Air Tonight, right? With Phil Collins, is that it? Where the drums go, right? Could you imagine if every time they played that song, the drum solo was in a different spot? You'd be like, oh, what are they doing? Right? And they'd be like, no, we're not doing that. We're doing do. You're like, that's not it. That's not it. So I offer anybody who wants to go create a keynote speech, their keynote conversation, their signature story. I'm teaching a story. Christina Zaharia asked me to do a story training for her and for her community. And since she asked me, and it's not her community one where there were 600 and some odd people on the last Zoom I did for them, it's open for everybody. That's going to be the 27th at 2 p.m. Saturday on a Saturday afternoon. So I will come and teach you your signature story. It'll probably be a 90-minute conversation. But I was doing it for Christine. I said, let's go create an event. She's like, we could do that? Of course we could do that. Have we ever done it? I've never done it, but we're going to go teach a story. So if anybody wants that, you're more than welcome to it.
Very nice. I'm going to check that out. So I heard someone say, and I cannot remember who it was, but it stuck with me. My speech would have been shorter if I would have had more time to prepare it. And that is really what I've been working on, is being more concise and getting the message across, because I think you said it. I don't know, it came from somewhere else, but your mind can only absorb what your butt can endure, something to that effect.
and here's another one you want to write down as a speaker. Oh my gosh. Mark Twain said, the difference between the right word And the almost right word, right? The right word and the almost right word is the difference between lightning and a lightning bug. Right? And Jerry Seinfeld would spend 2 hours trying to take a 4-word sentence and turn it into 3 words. They're called throwaways. And a lot of times we put the throwaway in because if we don't have it, it's not significant enough. Sometimes, you know as well as anybody, you know the phrase, you bought back the sale.
Mm-hmm.
That's what your extra words are. They're buying back the sale.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I'm the one that will sit there and listen. It may be a good story, but if I lose interest, I'm thinking about what's for lunch.
Right? That's why my presentation to people when they want to get started, I was like, how do you want to get started?
Mm.
Well, aren't you going to tell me about your thing? What thing? And so my daddy always said, the only reason you give a presentation is so they can tell you how they want to get started.
Yeah.
So if you start with the end in mind, what's the end in mind, right? Persistence. We're talking about persistence in Napoleon Hill. Be persistent with starting with the end in mind. Covey, right? Start with the end in mind. What do they want? And you can stand on stage in front of 5,000 people and say, what do you want? What if this next conversation gave you what you wanted? Would you all listen different? Could I beg 20 minutes from you so you could have your dream? Why do I have to ask you to let me borrow the next 20 minutes of your time so you can have the dream you want? Because I can promise you, the dream you want will be in the next 20 minutes, will show up. Are you all ready to listen? Raise your hand and say yes. Yes. Oh, that was kind of cheesy. About 3 of you want to listen and read, right? Raise your hand, say yes. Yes. Now I can talk my conversation because I have their attention, because they're focused on them. If I wanted them to focus on me, I just go up with my zipper down.
Sure.
Right? Oh my God, you see a zipper? Nobody would hear what I'd have to say. If I want the attention, I'd button my shirt wrong and I'd leave my zipper down and maybe pull one of my shirt tails out my zipper. That'd be, hey, listen, focus on me, baby. I'm on stage.
Mm-hmm.
I need to get in the seat next to you. I need to be whispering in your ear. Hey, what are you doing? What are you doing? Why are you wasting your time? I love you. Get your head out of your butt. And so that's the hardest part for people to do, is to get, right? We call it mulligans in golf. We call it mulligans in goal setting. Oh, I'll be persistent for a day. That ain't persistent enough. So we call it a mulligan. So I'm always giving people a mulligan. If you already say yes, yes. Oh my God. Could the rest, listen, I'm going to stop my speech right now. And the 3 of you, we're going to go have coffee outside and you can bring up the next speaker. No. Because if you're right, FOMO, if you're not, if you listen, I don't need to be here. I want to be here. I don't need to be here. They didn't come out with shackles and an orange suit. Yeah, this is not part of my penance to society. That's novelty. So I'm going to ask again on the count of 3. If you're ready, we're going to practice. Let's do a quick practice. 1, 2, 3, say yes. Raise your hand, say yes. This is a practice. 1, 2, 3. Yes. Now you got it. All right. So now everybody's doing it. So, hey, listen. So now, hey, hi, everybody. Let's start over. My name's Sean Murphy. I'm here to have some conversation with you. How many of you really want your dream in the next 20 minutes? Raise your hand, say yes. Now, when you're the speaker that people link to, because guess what the next speaker is going to do? They're going to come out and say, hey, I love what Sean did. How many of you are ready? Say yes. And it goes to about 50% because the speaker sucks at even believing in their own yes. But that's okay. They get to link. They get to link my success to their success. And by the end of the day, the yes is like, maybe. But for me, it was full blown yes, baby. Anyways, but yes, and I would do that in your little group. The challenge is how many are in your audience when you're at the Toastmasters event?
About 15.
Oh, then get them to do it. And part of you as the Toastmaster master is to say, if you're not getting excited here, how the hell are you going to expect anybody else to get excited? We're all on the same team here. Raise your hand, say yes. Are you in an office building where there's people on the other sides of the walls?
It's a conference room in the back of a restaurant.
Awesome. You want everybody in the restaurant to go, well, they might not be there or they might be there, but you
I
want
know.
everybody in the restaurant. You want the staff to go, what the hell are they doing back there? You
Yeah.
literally, and that's how you draw attention, is you become attention worthy.
Yeah.
But I would encourage you to do that. We're gonna, hey, listen, if I was showing up, how would you clap? What would be an outstanding round of applause? No, that's not. Get on the table.
Yeah. I love it, Sean. So my mulligan today, I want to ask you on follow up from what's the plan you need to create to get out of the bad plan you are already in?
Yep.
As my mentor, how can I best apply that to my life today? What would you recommend on my next step to identify that bad plan and what I need to do to improve that?
So your bad plan is what's keeping you from your good plan.
Right.
The challenge is you think you're on a good plan. You got it, brother. You got everything. You got the beautiful wife. You got the dogs. You got the books behind you. Your life, compared to everybody else around you in Oklahoma, you the shit. But you haven't even scratched the surface. You imagine if, I used to teach manufacturing how to do better. Now I travel the world telling the story about my daughter and about butterflies. Come on. You're good at what you do, but you ain't good at what you're going to become. That's what you got to get good at. Damn, Gina, you couldn't have punched me in the solar plexus.
And I'm in a great position to be
No,
able
you're
to.
not. No, you're not. It sucks.
No, it's not. Listen.
Yes, it does.
No, it doesn't.
Compared to where you're going?
Oh, yeah, compared to where I'm
Then it
going.
sucks. See, this is the illusion. This is where mental toughness needs to kick in.
Yeah, let
You
me
keep
finish.
saying you're good.
No, I said I'm in a good vehicle to get me to good.
No, you're not. Because
Yes, I am, because I manifested this shit.
This is how you know you have a mental relationship, but you can argue.
Yeah, I got it because Michelle Murphy helped me to identify what was inside of me.
By the way, everybody, I am the gateway drug to the true success factor in our family.
Yeah, she helped me a lot. So thank you for opening that door, Sean. But
hey,
that's
she
what I was
opens it.
saying.
I bring everybody to it. You can knock. She's the one that decides whether it gets opened or not. I have no control over that door. Zero.
Well, I got lucky. She let me in. So, but to my point, the career that I now have allows me to have face-to-face conversation with people in practice. Just for example, the other day I walked into a place, never been there before, I was given a new territory, and I just walked into the owner with a big grin on my face. I didn't know anything about the company. I didn't know. I was the first time I was over there. I was just smiling from ear to ear, and I didn't say a word until he smiled back at me, and it opened so many doors for me, Sean, just because of my energy. I was just stayed in the state. I didn't talk about me. I asked him questions and just smiled. That is something I could not have done 4 or 5 years ago before I met you and started on this journey. I would have been trying to stutter and tell him what I was there for and tell him all about me and what I have to offer. And that's just that one shift has changed a lot. That's all I was saying is the vehicle that I've got now with the tools that you and Michelle have helped introduce me to have.
So you ready for the Paul Harvey rest of the story? You ready?
Yes.
Okay, so here it is. Your next level is to give people the courage to smile. That guy had the wherewithal to smile and mirror neurons and everything else. There's people who mirror neurons. When you smile, they'll become more attacking to their own soul, saying they're not enough. Your goal is to have a frequency so loud that's the Mother Teresa frequency that says, I'm here to serve. I'll wash your feet. Mother Teresa said, don't ever invite me to a march against war. If you want to invite me to a march for peace, I'm there. But don't invite me to the thing you don't want. Invite me to the thing you do want. And the frequency, and this is, you know this as a musician, there's a frequency when you're in tune to your smile is so big that you're wanting to lift them up. You're wanting to not look for the reflection, not wait for the smile back. You want to activate a piece within them that says you want to do it with so much love. This is where the word love comes in. Your goal is to be able to have so much love when you walk down the street. Just love, just doesn't even require a smile. It's just this frequency of love. You are tuned to LOVE.FM so much in every essence. In every essence, love, not high energy, not a good soul, not a great vibration, not a safe place. See, your arms, your physique says I can be safe, but it also says I can get my ass kicked. Right? There's women who fawn over you. There's guys who wish they were you because they wish they had the arms. And the guys who wish they were you is because they want to create a safe space for the ones they love. I look at you, people look at you and they go, oh my God, it's a freaking tank. If I'm ever in a fight, I want you as my backup, right? So the key now is to say, listen, I've worked a lot on my external. The hardest work I ever did was not benching 405. It was being able to sit in love.
Yeah.
And that's the next level. Because I walk out on stage because I lost the weight I lost. I now have a more visual of listening to. I always had my height. That was one of the blessings that God gave me. God gives stupid people some amazing abilities. And mine was my height. I was always taller than everybody. So therefore I instantly had instant credibility. I could get away with murder because I was taller than everybody else. Height has a thing to do with it. Now, physique wise, no, but if I walk out on stage and I'm fat and talking about wellness or talking about brain health, it's like, guy can't even get himself skinny. What are you, nuts? Why would I listen to him? That was an underlying signal. So now I'm 211, 210, 208, depending upon the day. And I look good. Now I got to get a little tone, right? So if I show up in my white tank top, it's like, oh, okay, he's healthy. I'm not unhealthy, but I could use a little tone. And I can do that, body weight exercise, all that. But my point is that I lost the weight, not because I wanted to. I lost the weight when I wasn't speaking, right? Here on the ranch. Now I go to speak, I show up and everybody's like, okay, you require more attention. And the part that you're working with and that you're becoming more comfortable with is that when you're suited up and you're looking good, you also look like a freaking brick house walking in and you gain attention. So part of this is people are like, wow, you are a center of attention simply by your physicalness. Now, when you open your mouth, you surpass even your capability of what you've done with your body. And that's why it's easier for you to have these conversations. So the next level is now moving from outside to inside to speaking through your heart. You always speak from it, speak through it. And the tone in your voice will change. You're kind, you're polite, you're a gentleman, you're honorable. When love starts to filter in more through that, you won't even recognize what happens. People will be setting appointments for you because they want your love. So that's the next level.
I love that. Thank you, Sean.
Yeah, the plan you're in has got you here. The next plan that gets you out of here, and the same thing that got you here. And the thing that'll get you to the next level is just a core frequency of love. You'll never be upset again. You'll never have a challenge because you will be in love with everything. I think in the Bible it says love everything that happens. Everything happens for your good. Everything happens for your good.
I haven't punched a hole in a door for
I know, isn't that
4
awesome?
years. It's been 4 years.
Awesome. Now imagine if that's how you open up your next Toastmasters. I haven't punched a hole in the door in the next 4 years, right? But wouldn't that
Yeah.
get it? Isn't that novelty?
Yeah.
The people in the audience couldn't even punch a hole in a door.
I had a guy tell me the other day, he said, man, I wish I would have known you a long time ago. I said, no, you don't. You wouldn't have known me. You wouldn't have known who I am. You'd have probably
We'll
already.
say, listen, you came in at the right chapter
Yeah.
to have a long,
Absolutely.
good relationship from this day on.
That's right.
I love it.
Thank you, Sean. Thank you
You're
for
welcome,
what you
brother.
do. I love you, brother.
Love you too. Thank you for showing up. Thank you for showing up for you. And thank you for letting Heidi throw the blender on. I love it. Love it. Love it. Love it.
Absolutely. Love
Hey.
you, brother.
Love you, man.
Let's
All right,
talk.
there you go,
soon.
ladies and gentlemen. There's an amazing day of conversation and dialogue. I take away when you hear these conversations, I'm watching my little peanut chamois hear these things and go, oh, thank you. Oh, that made sense. Oh, that's saying. This is why it's important to show up. This is why it's important to show up. And participating, typing is a confirmation of verbal speaking, right? Because you got to say it in your head, then you got to type it. My point is that it pays to pay attention to these conversations. They may be not where you're at, but they are definitely in a place where you are going. And the language that you need to translate this into is into your language. None of us can do what Brad does. None of us can do what AJ does. But we can do it the way they're doing it in our way. Does that make sense? So I love it. And I love the conversations Kyle and I had this weekend. They were there's a part of me, right? Because Kyle knows a lot of these people have been showing up more because they're closer and whatever. And sometimes my little Sean, who has some issues still working on it, feels, oh, he's talking about, I wonder what he's saying. I wonder what I say if that was it, right? There's that little, I wish I was over. So the conference opened up Friday morning. Kyle and I were talking. He says, can I bring you up first thing? I'm like, sure. Yeah. He says, I've been watching you and the things you're talking about. And, we talked a little bit earlier when we were having coffee about uncertainty. He says, can we just riff? You and I just riff? I'm like, yeah, sure. Let's do it. So to be the one that helps open the conference, I've done it before. It just seemed special on Friday morning. So you got to show up, right? You got to show up to be seen. So with that being said, I love you tons. I'm your head brain training, brain scrambling misfit. Let's go have more of what we want, less of what we don't. I'll see you where?
The next event.
The next event. Somebody give me some Costa Ricas.
Pura vida.
Pura vida.
We love you, Mark. And some Lydias.
Peace be with
Peace
us.
be with us.
Be with us. And the queen of you standing on stage and telling your story, Jessie Lee Ward.
Bosley.
Bosley, baby.
Leslie, we love you, girl. And a little white fluffy.
Gurgly, gurgly, gurgly.
Gurgly.
Gurgly. We love you, Fee. All right. And thanks, everybody. Heather, looking forward to having a conversation soon. And we'll talk soon. Thanks, everybody. Bye.
Thank you, Sean. Thank you,
family.
Brett.
Thank you, Sean.
Thank you, AJ. I love you guys.